Title: Judge Amy Coney Barrett tries to humiliate Pam Bondi, then discovers she is a legal genius. Headphone estimated spoken time, approximately 11 minutes. The courtroom was packed, and the air was thick with tension. All eyes were on the two women at the center of the storm. Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett sat high on the bench, her gavel tapping softly against the wood as she reviewed the morning's docket. Today's hearing was a procedural formality, at least, it was supposed to be. The defendant, Pam Bondi, had chosen to represent herself after firing her legal team just days earlier. A bold move. Some called it foolish. Judge Barrett certainly thought so. Ms. Bondi, the judge said coolly, peering down over her glasses, you are aware that this court does not have time for grandstanding. This isn't television. If you're attempting to stall, I assure you, it won't work. A few muffled chuckles rippled through the gallery. Pam Bondi, once Florida's Attorney General, stood silently for a moment. Her blonde hair was neatly pulled back, her face calm but unreadable. In her hands were two thick binders, color-coded and annotated. She didn't flinch. Your Honor, she said gently, I'm not here to grandstand. I'm here to speak the truth, and I believe this court deserves that. Judge Barrett arched an eyebrow. Then proceed. Pam stepped forward and began to lay out her defense. What began as a straightforward rebuttal quickly evolved into something else entirely. Using case law, legislative precedent, and even obscure Supreme Court decisions, she dismantled the prosecution's arguments with precision. She wasn't just defending herself, she was educating the courtroom. Every question Judge Barrett tossed her way, every subtle jab or attempt to trip her up, Pam returned with poise, counterpoints, and irrefutable logic. The snickers from earlier were gone. Now, people leaned forward in their seats. Phones vibrated quietly under benches as clerks and aides began Googling her citations, each one accurate, each one devastatingly effective. About an hour in, Judge Barrett leaned back, visibly uncomfortable. This court acknowledges your competence, Ms. Bondi, she said finally. But what exactly are you trying to prove? Pam looked around the room, her voice softer now. That justice doesn't live in a title, a robe, or a degree. Justice lives in truth, and truth doesn't care who delivers it. A pause. Then she added, and, if I'm being honest, I didn't want to represent myself because I thought I was better than my legal team. I did it because they didn't believe in me anymore. They saw a woman past her political prime, a headline liability. But I knew I still had something left to give. For the first time that morning, something shifted in Judge Barrett's expression. A flicker of something almost human. Reflection, perhaps. During the recess, Barrett remained behind as the courtroom cleared. She watched Bondi gather her notes, her movements graceful but tired. I underestimated you, Barrett admitted quietly, descending from the bench. That was remarkable work. Pam looked up, her expression softening. Thank you. I wasn't trying to win. Just to be heard. Barrett nodded slowly. You reminded me why I became a judge in the first place. Later that afternoon, Judge Barrett issued a ruling that stunned everyone. All charges against Pam Bondi were dismissed. Not because of technicalities or loopholes, but on the strength of her legal defense and the court's recognition of a deeper injustice. Outside the courthouse, reporters surged toward Pam, shouting questions. But she paused when she saw a young woman standing alone at the edge of the crowd, clutching a law textbook. You showed them, the woman said quietly. You showed all of us. Pam smiled. I didn't do it to show anyone anything. I did it because sometimes, when no one else believes in you, you have to believe in yourself. And that's the heart of it. A courtroom story became something more, a reminder that humility and brilliance aren't opposites, and that even in a world of power and prestige, the quiet dignity of truth can still echo the loudest. Glowing star uplifting message. Sometimes the greatest strength isn't in having the loudest voice, but in having the courage to speak when no one else will listen.